Yes, people, what's going on? It is the Kid EG on EGTV, and today I got two wonderful guests with me, Gunner Sulz and Gunnar Lee. But before they come on, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking a little bit about the games that happened today on Saturday. The Premier League games, Liverpool lost, obviously. You got Man City won, and Chelsea, Man United drew. We're going to touch on that slightly. And then we're going to go deep dive into the Premier League predictions and preview and lineup predictions for the Arsenal versus Southampton game. I got some new artwork on the channel, so let me know what you guys think. And also hit that, if you're watching this on the playback, do hit that like button, but also leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the Southampton game, what your score prediction is, and what you guys think is going to happen in this game. We got 15 people in the chat right now. Let's get the show started. We got Gunnar Lee coming through. Gunnar Lee, how you doing? I was on your channel last week. Now you're on mine. I like this.
Yeah. Listen, man. I said when you messaged me asking me, I was like, yeah, straight away. Like I'm making this work, man. As I said before, I love being on your channel, man. Yeah, the content's great. Your ideas are great, and you know what? We always have good convos. You know, I think that's one thing that I like about you're a real honest fan, and you know, like it's gonna be a good chat today. It's gonna be a good chat. And listen, I'm happy, man. The teams are dropping points, and we're looking good right now.
Don't jump the gun. We're gonna talk about that once Gunnar Sulz comes in. Gunnar Sulz, what's going on, bro?
Yo, I'm wicked. You see this weekend, yeah? You see this weekend, all them man talking chest dropping points. But yeah, we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
Big up Mustafa in the house. We got AFC Forever in the house. Shout out to all you guys. Let me know what you guys think about the new thumbnails. Let me know what you guys think about the new thumbnails, obviously. Also, don't forget, let us know what you guys think about the games that just took place, because we're going to talk about that. That might, you know what? Let's talk about the games first, and then we'll go into the preview right after, because I feel like we're going to spend a lot more time talking about the Arsenal-Southampton game. But where else do we begin besides the Nottingham Forest Liverpool game, guys? What the hell was that?
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. For me, look, I know it's going to sound mad, but I a lot of people know I don't rate Liverpool, and I knew that this was going to happen from the end of last season when Mane started to decide that he wanted to leave. And for me, I'm actually a bit over Liverpool now. Like I just feel like they're almost like their demise is being televised, and I'm not that concerned about them. I think they will have a really up and down season, some really up and down results. They won 2 games in a row. Obviously, really great, fantastic result against Man City, and then obviously that shaky win against West Ham. For me, look, as I said, I don't really want to go too much into Liverpool. I don't want to talk about them too much because it's a waste of time. Like they're nothing to me now, man. They're insignificant in truth.
Ooh, yo, I'll tell you this. I did say Liverpool lost their fear factor after the Crystal Palace and Fulham situations. But right now, this is the next level. It's not like they've completely, you know what this is? Someone has literally told everybody how to beat them. And now everyone has the game script. They know how to do it. And they're finding new ways to do it every week. Today they beat them with their former player and a former Liverpool and a former Liverpool academy player and a person who considers himself a Liverpool fan scoring that goal. It was emotional for him. That was a really emotional moment for him. But yo, Gunnar Sulz, what are you saying? And people in the chat, hit that like button. Let me know what you guys are saying, man.
This is the new norm. It's coming, man. When they had those injuries, they were fighting for top 4. I don't understand where this golden era domination, comes from for challenging Man City. You won 1 league, okay, you won a Champions League, but where's the consistency in this dominance? Like, imagine we said this. Imagine we win 1 league title, go and win a Champions League, and that's it. And then it's like we bullied Chelsea for this, by the way. And like Klopp's done nothing different. And it's like we call it a domination period. Like, come on now. Then, this bomb. And I can't believe, you know what it is? They deserve this because they wanted to compare Klopp to Pep Guardiola. Man, they're in different planets. They're not. They should never be in the same conversation. The guy thought playing his best goal threat as a wide winger is going to be the solution to their problems. Is he a dickhead? Like, is he stupid? Like, what does he think this is, man? Like, but anyways, they deserve it because for a team that because we get bullied for finishing top 4, is that a trophy? And all of a sudden finishing second and we push Man City as a trophy. Come on now. Like, these man piped up so much, deserve it. I hope their demise continues because, with Man City, I respect it. Even though they keep winning, they're humble with it. And I don't mind that. They know their place. They don't try and sit there and think they're bigger than us or they're better than us and all of that.
We're going to get into Man City, but before we do that,
you made a great point though, Sulz, and I tell you why. Is for me, I look at Klopp and I'm like, some of the mistakes he's doing and some of the things he's doing. He's been a manager for what, 10 plus years, right? He started up Mainz, well, closer to 20 years. Like, this guy's been managing for a very, very long time. And my only thing I'm going to say is, if Arteta was making the mistakes and doing the things that Klopp's been doing, playing, for example, Jesus on the right instead of playing him up front, or, for example, I don't know, playing Partey right mid instead of playing him in the 6th role or the 8th role, like, people would be onto Arteta. And look what he's done with this season with Xhaka. He's done what the obvious thing, but no other manager did it. He's improving some of a lot of our players. His talent IQ looks fantastic, and Klopp's done all of this. So I'm not getting onto him for that. All I'm saying is, now it's looking like this guy's got this Wenger gene about him, where he's acting stubborn and he's not making the right decisions that is in the best interest for Liverpool, for me. And I want the same energy that people would give Arteta for the same mistakes that Klopp's doing and the same mistake that Conte's doing. I know we're not talking about Conte, but I'm now putting Arteta on another level and a higher level, because he's doing some really, really good things and he's affecting the game in a positive. Whereas I feel like Klopp, you look at the subs today, he took off Milner. He was playing excellently, and fair play to the 37-year-old or 34. No, sorry, I think he's 34. So 34-year-old, and fair play that he to Fabinho. Like, he knows that he's not playing. But for me, look, I just think that he's making some really, really silly mistakes. And as I said, if it was Arteta, people would be asking this guy to be hung, drawn, and quartered.
Let me just say this: Fabinho is no longer a professional footballer. What he is doing on that pitch, is it because the other people in the sum of their parts are not all working together as a unit, or was Fabinho only as good because he was tip-top shape, he wasn't burnt out, and now he might be a little bit burnt out? I don't know, but personally, I'm willing to put my neck out on the line and say this version of Fabinho is not even a Premier League footballer.
I've got an even bigger question for you two. This is a massive question, and I know we're gonna go. I don't want to go too long on it. I've got a massive question, right?
Yeah.
You say the same thing you said about Fabinho. We need to think about Salah, because Salah's only shown this elite level with a fantastic team around him and Mane and Firmino doing what he did in that sort of false number 9 role. So now we look at Salah, and really, truly, this season he's absolutely been dog crap and he's been struggling.
We can look at the whole team, bro. It's Fabinho.
Yeah. Do you know what? I hate this thing, where Salah gets away with it because the team's performing crap. You know what it is, right? The elites, and I'm gonna say, I don't care if people want to put these players on a different planet or not, but when you see Messi, Ronaldo, your KDBs, your Haaland, these types of players that Salah is being compared to, what do they do when their team's shit? At least they score. They get an assist. They run the game. They've played 4 passes against a relegation team. Bro, do you think Messi would get away with this? Do you think Ronaldo would get away with this? Do you think the likes of forget those players, Gabriel Jesus, do you think he would get away with making 4 passes against a relegation team? Come on, bro.
You know what?
Van Dijk also. Don't let Van Dijk get off.
Van Dijk. But you know what? You see, the problem is that we have to remember, right? And the reason why a lot of people would know that I've got a thing that I don't really rate Salah the way that people do. I think that he's an elite goal scorer, but I don't rate him as a player. And people think I'm crazy and mad for that. But my thing is, you see his performance today, it was probably a 5 out of 10, maybe a 4 out of 10. He wasn't great. But the problem is he scores so many goals that it masks his poor performances over the last 4 or 5 years. And now we're seeing that he's not scoring goals, he's not affecting games, or he's not doing anything. He's missing big sitters. And look, last week he played fantastically well, but that's 2 games he's played well within the last year. So my thing is with Salah is I just don't think that he's got that wow factor about him consistently. He has moments of brilliance. He's a fantastic goal scorer, elite, world class. But for me, overall, he's not that guy. He's not that guy.
Okay, I'm just gonna shift away from this Liverpool game because I feel like we're gonna spend too much time on the Liverpool game. Moving on to Haaland, he's just a joke, guys. 17 goals in his first like however many games. He's already equaled up to what Harry Kane got last season. What Harry Kane got last season, this guy got right now. It's crazy in my opinion. And you know what the most impressive thing about him is? He's just getting started. He's just getting started and he's hit the ground running this much. We got 30 people in the chat, and some of you guys are saying we're talking too much about one game. I get you. We're gonna get on. We're gonna move on away from that. But the City game, I predicted the score, by the way, 3-1. I pat my back easy. I don't care. 3-1. This game was written all over it that they were gonna beat them, and I knew that Brighton were gonna score because City this season, they do not let people. They don't let people win the games, but they still concede their chances.
Bro, did you see that first goal? Did you see the way he just bulldozed that defender? It was like, nah, fuck off. You ain't getting this ball. Bro, the guy's
How many
different,
goals
man.
did he score today? I didn't. Do you know?
Two. He scored a penalty and then he scored.
He scored a penalty.
Do you know
Bro,
what's
the
crazy
penalty
is
was
the amount of
demoralizing.
power this guy can generate on the ball is crazy.
You see
I'm
the
like, you know
penalty?
what? Even if I get it the right way, I'm letting it in. I ain't breaking
Did
my
you see
hands
the
over it.
penalty? The goalkeeper was demoralized before he even took it.
Now he was like, bro, if you see that amount of power coming through to you, like you're either gonna save it to break your hand or you just let it in. I am not breaking my hand over that. I'm just gonna be like, yeah, fuck that. Bro, the power, mad. And also, it's like he's got it. The thing is, people sit there and go, he's not gonna have the hold up play. The guy's 21 years old, and this is what he's doing. The guy's got. I said he can plan himself literally in the box and not move the whole season, and he'll break that record. He doesn't need to run. He doesn't need to move. He doesn't need to press. He doesn't need to create. He could just sit in the box, camp in the box, and make that his house, and he'll score because the ball is coming to him.
I think as well, what's scary is you got to think, right? He's not going to the World Cup as well. So if he gets another 10 goals in the next, how many games? How many games we got? Like 6 games or 5 games?
Three.
Three games in the Premier League, right? Before we break up. If he gets another, because he could do that. He could get 6-7 goals between now and obviously he's going to come back fresh. He's going to come back ready, and he's going to be coming for those 32 goals from Salah. Now, it's mad what he's doing. Like, I mean, I didn't know he scored the 2 goals today. He's got 17 goals already in the Premier League, which is crazy. For me, look, the guy's doing great things, but at the end of the day, we saw what happened against Liverpool last week. We need to get it. As some rival fans, I think we just need to start to get onto certain players to stop getting the supply to him, and hopefully we can start slowing him down a bit.
You know what? One thing that didn't need slowing down, that Chelsea United game was so slow. I felt like, I don't know how you guys felt, but I felt like that game was always going to be a draw. At one point, Chelsea didn't look like they were even passing their half. United in the second half, they dropped off and they didn't play as well. And Jorginho's penalty was the only thing Chelsea were ever going to get. I didn't think they were doing well at all. And Man United, good on them for getting that late winner. I didn't think they were going to be able to get it. I didn't think they were going to be able to do it. But when they threw enough men forward, they finally got it from a set piece. And the most gutting thing about this whole thing is Raphael Varane. I feel bad for him. As somebody who watches France and supports France from majority of my life, this guy is crucial to that French team. And I know France is blessed with a lot of center backs, but for him to miss it for himself, it's very sad. This could be his last World Cup. Most likely will be his last World Cup. But yeah.
We know Saliba's
going for the next one.
What?
Isn't he like 28 right now? So he'd be about 32.
No, but like, you know how France is. France always has like the turntables. Like Titi's still of a good age, but he's not getting in over any.
But he's shit though. There's a difference.
No, but you get what I'm saying though. Like,
yeah,
you could be a starter for France at this age, but doesn't guarantee you're going to be a starter for France.
Let's just think about it logically, right? I think we know for definite that Saliba is going to probably go into the next World Cup, and they're going to definitely take what's the guy that's at Chelsea? Why does his name come out of my head? Fofana, right? So that's probably going to be the centre back. You've still got.
I think it'll be Koundé, you know.
Yeah, you still got Koundé and you still got Upamecano as well. So that's 4. They're definitely going to go. You've got players like Lenglet. They always take the Hernandez. Like, they've got some really, really top players, man. Like, Pavard as well is what. There's another one that's always going to be in
Doesn't play
and around.
center back anymore though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying in terms of like he can play there, and he's another flexible player that will be for the French team. Look, for me, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna sound like a horrible person, but when I saw him get injured, I didn't flinch at all. I wasn't bothered. I mean, I only care about Arsenal. That is all I care about. And I sound horrible. The guy's 28. If he gets to the next World Cup, fair, good on him. If he doesn't, it is what it is, man. Like the guy's he's got sort of chocolate fingers as a body, man. He's easily broken, and that's what it is. Move on, man.
There you go. I think you said something in one of the group chats, Gunnar Sulz. You think he's the reason why United are good?
100%. Like if you think I'm gonna tell you statistically, since Varane has come back, they've only won games with Varane in centre back. It's crazy. But with Martinez and Lindelof, they hadn't won a game. They didn't win games until Varane came back. The reason that I say it is because one of the things I always say, centre backs come in pairs. They can never be in isolation. And I don't think Lindelof because the thing with Martinez is he's a bit like Gabriel. He's very rash. He's very he's a combative centre back. So what you need next to him is someone like a Varane, someone who's actually good at defending. And that complements him. So if he does make that sort of miscalculation in defending, he's got someone to cover for him. Same with Gabriel. Like when Gabriel's rash, it works because he's got Saliba next to him who can sweep up those mistakes or cover for him or whatever. It doesn't always work, but it's a pairing. And that's the reason why I think it's going to be a huge loss for them. And I feel like their goals are going to start leaking. Don't forget, the Martinez and Lindelof was the 4-0. What was it, 2-1 or 3-1 against Brighton? They held corn. I know Varane and Martinez held corn against City, but that's quite common. A lot of teams are going to hold corn against them. So that's just how I feel that he's important for their results.
You know what? I'm finding it difficult to point out some of the comments. If you guys see any comments, also help me out. Point out some comments that you think might be interesting.
I was gonna say though, I have to be honest, right? And I'll probably even owe Kaz a tiny apology because the first 2 games, look, I was on to Ten Hag. I didn't rate him. I didn't think he was. I thought he needed to come and prove himself. And people were sort of saying he's the new Messiah. He's going to come and break up the monopoly of Man City constantly winning the league and etc. etc. And for me, look, I have to say, look, the way that Man United are playing, they're gonna be very inconsistent because they obviously haven't got all their players. But I have to give them props because they are playing a lot better. They look threatening today. They controlled pretty much the whole game. I think Chelsea were better in the second half, but Man United was still good. And overall, look, I'm giving you Man United some props because it's not easy to come into Man United with all of these different things that are going on. Ronaldo with the signings and the board and the stupid not Ed Woodward but the other guy that they've got, John Murtaugh, I think his name is, coming in doing stupidness, and he's doing good. So look, I give them some respect, man, because they are doing a lot better than what I thought. And Ten Hag, he doesn't always make the right decisions, but overall he's doing all right. He's doing all right for them.
Also, can we just acknowledge that Chelsea look horrific? Their midfield is disjointed, everything else. But
they had injuries though, man. Injuries.
I know they have injuries, but Conte's not always available. But they don't really have many options in that midfield. That midfield's poor. My boy Monster was on the terrace just earlier, and he was pointing it out, and I fully agree with him. We've been saying this for a while.
Do you know what the big problem is?
They need a real DM. They don't have one. But
it's more than that. It's both these teams are going to suffer from one thing. The style of play takes 18 months to implement. We know this from sort of history of pressing managers and getting the fitness level from players who haven't pressed before or don't really understand how to press. Number one, the way to press takes 18 months. To get the fitness levels up takes 18 months. And that's the biggest sort of barrier that they're going to have. It's not even players who know how to press. It can take, as a unit, it can take up to 18 months before you see that becoming effective over 90 minutes. Now, you can see it in 45 minutes. You can see it for 30 minutes, 40 minutes here and there. But that's the reason they lost control, is because they're not fit enough and they're not good enough yet to press over 90 minutes. So they're both going to suffer that because Graham Potter likes to do that. And so does, obviously, Ten Hag. That's their fundamental. But also, I feel like obviously they need players as well. They're very early in their sort of both their managers, like sort of tenures, and they need very different players. But that's the core of their team. That the first thing is 18 months is needed.
Okay, I need to get into this preview. So guys, we are going to be playing Southampton in what's it called, St. Mary's Stadium?
Yeah,
Or
St.
that,
Mary's, St. Mary's.
so say we're going to be playing them in the St. Mary's, and we got to talk about some of their players, who's in form, who's out of form, what we think about Southampton, what we think about our team and our state of our team. So we might as well start in-house and talk about the good, the bad currently going on with the team, and then we can go to our opponent and judge them, and then we'll do our predicted lineups and everything else. So first things first, I'm gonna start with you guys. If you guys can tell me, what do you guys think going into this game is the good things that you're looking for, and what is the things that you need us to improve on that you're looking at and you're saying, you know, it's not good enough yet, but we need to work on?
So, do you want to go? You can go first, bro.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I'm gonna say the player that I back to get player of the season, and that's Odegaard. I need to see more from him, and that's not in a way of like he's been poor or he's been crap or anything like that. But I just feel like he's not doing enough for me in away games. At home, I feel like he's doing what we think he's gonna do, but in away games he does go a little bit shy for me. And I want to see a bit more dominance from him on the ball, controlling the tempo, and just really sort of become that general he was, like demanding players to move, being that sort of press trigger. And I feel like with obviously Jesus coming in, the dynamics of the team's changed a lot, but I need him to now, as an individual, shine a bit more. So that's number one that I'm looking for. And also, I'm just looking for sort of a bit more, because the last two games we lost control of games. Against PSV we're a lot better, but against Leeds we did seem to give them control, and that's something I'm looking to like take away from them, and just you dictate the game away from home, and don't let that become a thing or a pattern. So they're the two key things I want to see.
Okay, I like that. Go ahead, Gunnar. So what are the things you're looking for, positive and negative?
Every week on my show, I like to do in a post-match review, I like to do a stocks rising and a stocks falling. For me, look, the three things that I'm going to sort of be looking for. Number one, I need Gabriel Jesus to get on the goal scoring sheet. Not only because we've seen people like Nunes scoring goals, we're seeing obviously the crazy stuff that Haaland's doing, and we're seeing that he's getting in these great and these fantastic opportunities and these fantastic positions, but it's always just the keepers pulling out worldies, or his shots a little bit blunt. So for me, I just need a little bit more. I mean, he should have 3 more goals easily. He could have got 2 more against Leicester. I don't know if you remember, and he could have easily got 1 the other day. Yes, on Thursday. He just needs to get a few more goals to kind of really solidify that he's been fantastic for us anyway. So forget what people think. But for me, I just need a little bit more from him in that regard. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, people think I have an agenda against Gabriel Magalhaes. Like, I love the guy. I think he's solid player. But I just want to see a little bit more assertiveness. I want to see a little bit more, less of the mistakes, and just more. Just play your game, natural game, and do the rugged defending that you want to do, but do it sensibly. Like that. He's 24 now, and we've got Saliba who's 21, I think. Be that dominating centre back to lead us to a title charge, or to the second position, whatever it is that we're going to get, hopefully by the end of the season. The last thing, and probably the most important thing, is look, I'm gonna agree with Gunnar Sulz on the Odegaard thing, but listen, I like Odegaard a lot. I really do, and I think the only issue that I've got with him is the fact that his shooting is so poor. When he gets in these advantageous positions, especially away from home, he always passed the ball. And when he's at home, he's shooting from like 30 yards, and he's just on the ball non-stop. For me, get your foot through that ball and lash it in the ball, because you can do it. We've seen it. One of his first goals last season against Burnley I think it was the 4th game, free kick, fantastic goal.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen the fantastic footballer that he is. Last week he got an assist as well, so I mean that was a bit skewed. But look, just show the dominance that you are, because you are a fantastic player for us, and I believe that he can show and lead us to really, really good positions this season. But we just need a little bit more of what he does at home away, because he can do it. And against Brentford away, he was fantastic. Against Bournemouth away, he was out of this world. So we know he can do it. It's just, as Gunnar Sulz is, and I'm sure you're going to maybe allude to later on as well, he can do it. He just needs to do it more consistently.
You know what I'm going to point out? Obviously, we know the good of Jesus. We know the amazing play of Bukayo Saka. I'm gonna say Martinelli away from home is always the guy who's the most on point from all of our guys. I don't think you guys notice, but Martinelli tends to be the guy who scores away from home more than he scores at home. He tends to deliver away from home. Crystal Palace, first game of the season, he delivered against who was it recently? We played
He
again. We
scored the
played.
Man United away as well, but he got ruled offside.
Yeah, he scored. I think he scored against Bournemouth, if I'm not mistaken. It was Saliba and who
No,
else?
he didn't. He didn't. Gabriel, no. Did Saka score?
When did Martinelli score all these goals? Because I swear Martinelli has delivered away from home recently.
Well,
Am I
we played Bournemouth away. That was 3-0, and Jesus didn't score. It was
Okay, yeah. So I'm tripping because he scored against Liverpool. That was a home game. Aston Villa, that was a home game, and Leicester, that was a home game. But his performances in these away games are more memorable for me because I feel like he's always working hard. He's always putting in his work, and we always give Saka their plaudits. We always give Jesus their plaudits. But I'm just saying, you know what? I feel like Martinelli deserves a lot of plaudits also because he's just as integral, and he is playing like one of the best wingers in this league right now. And you know how people are; they're going to say you're overhyping it, but that's a fact. Currently, you look at that left side. You look at the left side in the league. Martinelli is up there with anyone else in this league. When it comes to the other side, I don't know about you guys, but against Leeds, I don't think it wasn't only Odegaard that was poor. I felt like the whole midfield was in on point against Leeds. And I'm looking at Partey, I'm looking at Xhaka, two guys who've been really good this season away from home against Leeds. They kind of let the game get away from us. We need to see them switched on away from home against Southampton. You can't take these guys for granted. We need to see them switched on from minute 1 to minute 90. And I know it's going to be difficult. There's going to be lapses in moments in concentration throughout the game, but we cannot see a similar situation where we're playing basketball against Southampton because they might have more cutting edge than Leeds. Leeds don't have anyone like Shea Adams, in my opinion. Bamford's not really doing all that right now. And then if they do get an opportunity on free kicks, all they need is one free kick or one dead ball, and you know Ward-Prowse, he's deadly with those, so we cannot afford that. But yeah, that was my little takeaway on that. Moving on to the next thing, what are we worried about when we look at Ralph Hasenhuttle's team and their strengths and weaknesses? Because for me, I already touched on what's it called? Shea Adams and thing. I think those two guys are the two most dangerous guys we got to worry about in this game. Shea Adams is probably their top goal scorer at this moment in time with 3 goals, and we know Ward-Prowse. It's not like he runs the midfield or dominates the game through the midfield. It just takes a moment of magic, and he can absolutely deliver. Now, I don't think we're going to keep a clean sheet. I'm really looking at this game and I'm saying, the way Southampton have been performing at home, I think we can still beat them. But when it comes to keeping a clean sheet, I kind of don't know if we're going to be able to keep a clean sheet in this game. But yeah, I feel like I'm respecting Southampton's attack a little bit more than you guys are.
Do you know what though? Last week we did the preview. I was very nervous against Leeds. Sorry, I was very nervous. I thought it was going to be a struggle, and it was. This week I'm a lot more calm, a lot more sort of measured. Reason being is I just don't think that Southampton have that thing. They're a very young team. They're not as energetic as I think Leeds will be. I don't think they've got that maturity. They have some decent players. I don't think anyone that can really hurt us. They've got the young centre back Bella Kotchap, I think his name is. Bella Kotchap, and he looks very solid as well. So I think he's going to be another kind of aerial threat that we need to worry about. But for us, look, I'm really just hoping that the main thing I'm worried about is hopefully that we're not tired and we're not going to go into the game a little bit lethargic, because if that happens, that's when you get those kind of banana skin games. That's when you don't go in with the right intensity. You leave with no points, or you leave with 1 point, and we need to win tomorrow. I think overall, similar to last week, the fullbacks is going to be the right issue. I know that they've got Ainsley Maitland-Niles. He can't play. He's obviously not cup tied, but obviously that he's ineligible. Sorry. Yes. And then they've obviously not got Livramento, and I think they're also missing the other ex-Tottenham right back as well. I can't remember his name.
Kyle Walker-Peters.
Yeah, Kyle Walker-Peters. I think he's out as well. So I think Martinelli is going to be huge in that game to kind of just attack those fullbacks constantly. for me, look, I'm really not as worried. We've obviously also had quite a few clean sheets away from home. I think all of our clean sheets have come away from home. Obviously Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, not Brighton, Bournemouth and Brentford, sorry, and obviously last week against Leeds.
Bella Koch is injured, by the way.
Oh, he's injured.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bella Koch's injured. Livramento's injured. Lavia's injured.
Lavia is doubtful, by the way. He could potentially play.
Okay, well, if that's the case, listen, I'm saying, well, I'm not going to say my score prediction, but I'm very confident about tomorrow.
Ooh, I like that. You see, it kind of roles reversed today. I like that. So yeah, same thing with you, bro. To looking at Ralph Hasenhuttle's team, what do you think about his team and who you might be looking at?
No ego, no arrogance. I'm not scared. There's nothing there that scares me. Yeah, they've got a goal potential in like Ward-Prowse and Che Adams, but I'm going to be completely honest with you. I just don't see this being that kind of game. Their key players who have actually done stuff for them are injured. I mean, if Lavia's back, then yes, that's going to be a good battle for our midfield to keep up with him, because he is one of those. He excites me. He is a player that drives with the ball. He's got a good press potential as well, and he is one of those unpredictable midfielders. And it's different when you've got a player who can drive. It's a bit like a Party factor where, if Party wants to, he can go on a good run. But obviously, his role right now is as a lone six, so it's a bit more passy. But it's the old Party that I see in Lavia, and so that's why I'm not that afraid. They're wingers. They don't scare me. They're not that quick. They're not technical or like out of the world, like skillful. They're fullbacks. I mean, if Livramento was, and even if he was fit, he wouldn't be match fit. So that doesn't worry me either. So yeah, I'm not afraid. Their style of play doesn't scare me. The thing is, when you watch some of Southampton's games and you see those centre backs getting pressed, they're actually very error prone, and that's one of the things we actually excel in. So that's why I'm not that scared, especially with Jesus, Odegaard, what we know they can do. And then obviously Martinelli presses like a madman. Like them three players are going to be very key to kind of unlocking what Hasenhuttl can even try and do. Because they some reason they try and play out the back and they're not really good at it, but they still seem to persist with it. So the only thing we need to be wary of is not giving those stupid free kicks sometimes we do on the edge of the box. And we know James Ward-Prowse has the ability to put a banger in, and even corners. Now we need to minimize as much as those as we can, because that's the key to their team, like, and doing anything. I just don't see an open play goal in terms of not coming from a free kick or from a corner. I just see them kind of getting that scrappy free kick goal. But even if, do you know what, we can let Maitland-Niles play. It's actually advantageous to us to let him play than it is anything. So I don't really care if there's club ties or whatever. Let him play.
No, you can't.
I was going to say,
just before you go, bro, I was just going to say, I kind of get where both you guys are coming from, but for me, I'm looking at Southampton and I'm saying they're kind of like a bogey team. We play them and they're kind of like a bogey team over the years. They've given us a lot of problems. Like I know that our recent history of note has not been that good traveling away to Southampton. Like we've lost 3 of our last 6 and only won 2 of them. So we've dropped points in 4 of our last 6 games.
What I will say to that though is, if you think about it, last season we've pretty much avenged all the kind of really difficult fixtures that we lost last season. Crystal Palace, we avenged that. Brentford, so we've kind of avenged that. And what we're looking at, we look like a totally different team. So I don't think they're going to have the burden of that. But I think overall, yeah, just looking at sort of the predicted lineups for Southampton, honestly, that team is horrible, man. Like they're playing like Ibrahim Diallo, he's horrible. Adam Armstrong, Mohamed Elanusi. Like this team is not good, man, at all. And look, their keeper, the Man City guy, look, he's good, but I can see Man City. I can see us getting 2 goals, and I think Jesus is definitely going to get on that score sheet. Seeing that team that they've got compared to ours, we honestly, as Gunnar Sulz said, man, listen, we have got way too much quality to be worried about them at this moment. I think the most scary thing for me is Arteta picking the right team. I'm not worried about anything else.
Okay, let's pick our team. So let's go straight into our picking our team, and people in the comment
This is
section
gonna be
go
funny,
along
bro. With the left back,
No,
this
no,
is gonna be
wait.
funny.
Good. I'm interested to know what you think you could do wrong.
I'm
Listen,
looking at it.
I'm a
There's
big
not much you can change.
look, I think. Listen, we had a chat last week with the left back, man. What are you saying?
You know what? That was interesting.
Okay.
So,
I
guys,
told you.
this is what happened. I went on his channel and I basically said there is no way that Kieran Tierney's not playing. He basically promised him the game, and he said, "No, I know Arteta. He's not going to change it." What ended up happening? Arteta did not end up changing it, and you were right. I was wrong. But in the same breath, he did. The reason why he might have done it is because he's been playing him in the Europa League games. Do you think that he subbed him off in the Europa League game and brought on Ben White and played Tierney for the full 90 because he knew he wasn't going to play him tomorrow? I mean,
nah, man. Listen, bro. I just think that Tomiyasu, he's earned that position and he needs to lose it somehow. That's how it's going to work. But I think Arteta is like that, man. He's that guy, man. He's doing that.
No, I get that. So I kind of got the lineup pretty much already. I'm working on it right now. Who's going to play right back? Ben White, obviously.
Ben White, man.
Yeah, right now, yeah.
Yeah. So nothing's really changing from our last team that we've played with. That's what you guys are saying.
No.
Personally, I think Tierney suits this game better than Tomiyasu. Just because I think we need to just go at them. Especially in the first half. I don't think it's one of those games where in the last 30 we should go. If anything, Tomiyasu should come up and assure the game up in the last 30 minutes rather than the other way around. But that's just more. We've got enough anyway, even if he's not a man up there. But I would like him to just push them back a bit.
We do need to remember, though, Tomiyasu is an excellent attacking fullback on both sides. This guy is absolutely elite. Listen, I said it last week to Egal. I'm sure you will agree and also confirm what I said. Bro, he's the best. I believe he's the best defender we have. One-on-one defender, sorry. One-on-one defender, yeah. One-on-one defender. For me, he's the best, man.
Let me show you guys this quickly. This is the team that I think we're gonna play. So I get it that last week I was vouching for Kieran Tierney a lot, but I'm not gonna do that this week. Arteta has shown me that when he finds a winning formula, he sticks to it unless it stops working. So at this moment in time, this is what he's gonna play, and he's gonna have Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, Tomiyasu, Aaron Ramsdale, Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard, Jesus, Martinelli, and Bukayo Saka. And I think there's no real debate over the lineup. Do you guys disagree?
Nah, that's the team that's playing, man. That's the team, 100%. I'm very certain, man. I can't. And if you think about it logically, right? We know some certainties are going to be playing. So we know Ramsdale's going to play. Obviously, this is barring injury. We know Saliba's going to play. We know Partey's going to play. Xhaka, he's got no chance of coming out of the team. Odegaard being the captain, he's going to play. Jesus, he's definitely going to play. Saka, we saw the comments he said about they're having to play 70 games for every 3-4 days, and Martinelli's the only option on the left. So we know that those are some really obvious ones. I think the only ones that could change are Tomiyasu. I don't actually see who's on the bench that can come on and actually displace any of these players other than Tomiyasu and Tierney. No one else can do that.
Yeah, some people in the chat agree. Love Tierney, but Tommy is good at overlapping and crossing and giving that cross. You know what? You would say he's better than him?
Listen, yeah, for me, man,
I disagree.
For me, Tommy's different. I feel like his vertical balls to like a Bukayo Saka, for example, unlock a lot more. I don't really agree with the whole sort of Tierney is definitely a better attacking fullback, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and then you've got Zinchenko, in my opinion, who's a better sort of midfield control against a big team sort of player. Then you've got Tomiyasu, who, if you just need a pure defender who can play the switches, that's where you get Tomiyasu. And I feel like, yeah, I'm not going to hype the attributes I don't think they're quite good at, but it's not that Tommy can't do it. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I just feel his strengths come in playing the ball from deep and unlocking Saka. And that's why I feel like when he's been introduced against like Liverpool, for example, is why Saka's played a lot better, because he knows he's going to get them first-time vertical balls and just run it in behind, rather than what he has been doing, where he's having to get the ball a little bit deeper, where 2-3 players are already on him, and try and take them out. So there's a difference in dynamic when each of them play. But it's a good problem to have.
And you know what? I know Gunnar Lee's gonna have to go soon. So before we get into Gabriel's contract with Gunnar Souls and talk about some of the other random stuff that we need to talk about before we finish up, give me your score predictions. And people in the chat, give me your score predictions. We got 36 of you guys in the chat right now. Do me a favor, hit that like button. Also, if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. But also, let us know your score predictions in the chat. We'll run through your score predictions and just give us a little reason why. So I'll let you go first, Gunnar Lee, because I know you gotta go soon.
Listen, I'm gonna say if Bella the centre back Bella Kotchap is actually out, as people are saying, listen, I'm going for a 3-0, man. I just can't see how we don't win. I mean, I would probably say 3-1. I can see that Gunnar Souls has a point with the whole we may concede finally away from home, but listen, 3-0, man. I'm confident. I think we're gonna have too much source. We're gonna have too many avenues to pass and constantly just pass them to death. I think Saka's on form at this moment in time. As I said, Gabriel Jesus is due 1 or 2 goals. And in truth, as I said, they're a really young team, Southampton, and we are a young team as well. But I think we've just got that little bit more experience within us to kind of go and kind of, produce the top level football that we can do. And we've seen against Brentford away, it was a tricky game. We went there and absolutely dominated and took their souls that game. So yeah, I'm gonna go 3-0. But if I might give them a go. Why not?
3-0, bro. Do you think we're gonna keep a clean sheet away from home? That confident? Because I'm worried.
We've kept them against Brentford, who's a harder team. We've kept it against Leeds, who's a harder team. Why would I not back us? Against Crystal Palace away, we kept a clean sheet. Wow, they're a very good team away.
I don't know why I'm so worried. I was less worried about Leeds. You're right.
No, yeah. The Leeds game, man, that scared me. We did it, but this one, I'm feeling. If they don't have that centre back, if they've centre back, he's very good. I think it will make it a bit more difficult. But
people keep putting in your comments before I'll get to them before I say mine. But yeah, Gunnar Souls, what are you saying? What's your score prediction?
We're gonna match up better Man City's result at home, which was 4-0. And I think that's what's going to happen. And I'll tell you why as well. They've won 1 in their last 5. They've drawn 1, lost 3. And even if you look at their average sort of scoring games, it's pretty much 1 or 2 goals in the game entirely, other than the Man City game where Man City scored all 4. So I'm confident. I don't think they've got a threat, like I've said. I don't think there's enough there for us to be worried about. So we're just going to keep going because there's nothing returning. And I feel like even if something returns, it's going to be a long ball, which we can easily handle. Saliba's got the pace. Gabriel's tall enough. And then obviously, like you said, if Tomiyasu plays, he's also got it in him as well. So for me, I think we're going to pam them. And it's going to be like a 4-5-0 hammering. And that's just the way I feel. I think looking at their results, there's nothing I'm impressed by. They've not done anything yet. And the teams they've beaten are relegation teams. And
they beat Chelsea, though, man. They beat Chelsea.
Yeah, they beat Chelsea.
Fair enough. I mean, Tuchel's sacked anyway now, and it says different now. But
let me just say this.
Yeah, I just don't see anything. Yeah, I'm gonna go matching City's result 4-0.
Southampton have 3 wins this season. Southampton have 2 draws and 6 losses. Arsenal currently have 9 wins, 1 loss. If you're looking at it on paper, we're first on the table. They're 15th. And with the goals scored and conceded, they've been shocking. We know it. But in the last 3 games, surprisingly, they've picked up a little bit of form just before they played us. Sorry, the last 2 games, they've been playing a little better. They got a draw versus West Ham, which is a tough game, and then they beat Bournemouth 1-0. Those are positive results going into this. They're going into this weekend where they play us. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying I'm extremely. Wait. Did they play? Am I looking at it the wrong way?
Yeah.
No, yeah, I am right. Yeah, so they played Bournemouth and then they played West Ham. So it's like if they've played those 2 teams and they've come out with a little bit of results, they should be a little bit better going into this game. And
you have to think though, West Ham aren't playing well this season.
That's true. West Ham aren't playing well, and Bournemouth have been bad too. So am I judging them fairly, or am I judging them based off getting results versus 2 poor teams? That could be true also. But in the same breath, I'm just saying we historically don't travel well. We've seen our performance versus Bodo Glimt away. We've seen our performance versus Leeds. We've seen those 2 back-to-back performances away from home. We haven't really had an away from home game in the Premier League from since before that Tottenham game, and it's been a while. I just need to see how our team continues to perform away from home, because we lost to Manchester United. We did win our games against obviously some of the other teams that we played away from home this season, but majority of the games that were tough we've had at home. And I just need to see how we perform more away from home. I still am not in this thing where I'm trusting the team to go out and smash teams left, right, center. I think Southampton is going to be a tight 2-1. I really do believe it's going to be a nervy game, but at the end of it, we're going to get the 3 points, and that's all that matters to me. But yeah, let's go to some of these comments. Kenny AFC saying 1-0 to the Arsenal, 2-0. My guy here says 2-0. We got Nicholas saying 3-1, Gabriel Jesus brace and a Southampton own goal. 4-1. We got Wilson in the house. Big up Wilson. It's been a minute. This is how you know the algorithm's helping, when you see people you haven't seen in a long time. Mustafa in the house. He's saying 2-1. Guys, regardless, we're just making predictions, but let me just write it down. So you said 2-1. Sorry. I said 2-1. What did you say again? 3-0?
I said 3-0, yeah.
3-0 for Lee, 2-1 for me. And then
AFC said 5-1.
What'd you say, Gunner Souls?
4-0.
4-0. Wow. All right, we're gonna see who gets it right. I'll keep it for after the game. But yeah, we got 2-0 here, or I'll take a 2-1. My prediction is Southampton 3-1. And yeah, my prediction that we're gonna win all the games in October is still going. Same with you, Gunner Souls. We said we're gonna win all the games in October. If we win this one, we literally got one more left, right? And
yeah, I think it's Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest, yeah, Nottingham Forest.
You guys think this is PSD?
Yeah, man, it is for you, 100%.
Yeah, I don't get where your lack of confidence is. Like, I know we've not played that well, but we still won. The thing is, we're finding ways to win. That's the difference.
People are saying, come on, Egal, why are you worried about Southampton? It's not that I'm worried about Southampton. It's that I've seen our away performance and the lack of control against Leeds, where I'm saying to myself, what if that even a little bit creeps into this game? I would be extremely concerned.
Because Leeds are miles better and offer way more.
Okay, fair enough.
And you got to think, though, as I said, I keep saying, like, this is a new team. This is a team that we have to start putting in a different light. We can't keep comparing it to what we've known over the last, when we had Mustafi and Kolasinac and Ozil. This is a completely different team, man, new team. So yeah, that's what I would say.
You know what? Sometimes I have extreme confidence, and then the next day I don't know what happened. Like this is basically what's happening. So Kenny here talking about Iwobi. Iwobi has been a masterclass this season. Did you guys see Iwobi today?
Yo, he's incredible.
Listen, man, I don't want to talk about Iwobi, man. Listen, this guy, he is so basic, man. He's doing it exceptionally well. Listen, big up to him, but I'm not that gassed by that guy. Listen, let him do his thing, man, but not at Arsenal. I'm glad he's gone.
Oh no, he's doing good for him. Like, that's what I'm saying. But he is doing very well for that level.
Nah, he's doing good for himself and for his team. But Frank Lampard deserves some credit, because he's got them boys playing mad. I did not expect them to be playing this good.
Bro, I've been saying it for weeks. The performances have been good. It's just the results haven't come yet.
Egal, please apply some context to the last 2 away games. I get that. Some of the players were tired. We just played 2 strong teams in Leeds. I mean, we played 2 strong teams in a row. Plus, I get that. I completely get that. And you know what? I fully see us winning. Don't get it twisted. I fully see us winning. But to say a game is going to be close, and to say a game is going to be 3-0, it's a lot. It's far away from each other. But yeah, you never know. It could be very close. It could be a blowout. Either way, I'm happy. Either way, it could be a blowout. I'm happy either way. I really don't care. But you know what? People keep saying this. I'm not speaking with chest. I'm not backing my team. It's not that I'm not backing my team. I used to back my team consistently when everyone was chatting shit, when we were getting
That's what we need. This is the season to do it, bro. You did it when it wasn't needed.
No, but the thing is, I was defending the club from people making stupid comments like Burnley is going to beat you every game you play. And at that time, Burnley didn't beat us every game we played, but it made it seem like people were making it seem like every single team we played was going to beat us. Now, I'm saying we're going to beat these teams. I'm not worried about losing the game, but I just don't think it's going to be friggin' not every
Convincing,
game.
as convincing.
Yeah, not every game is going to be a convincing win, a convincing performance. You know what? You can have a good performance and concede a late goal, have a 2-0 game, the whole game, concede a late goal, and it will be a 2-1.
This is a great point though, right? I don't know if you want to bring up Ibby's last point, right? He said, but you haven't spoken about the PSV game. Like, we controlled that game. We absolutely dominated. So the last game you've seen from us, we absolutely dominated them. So, you can talk about the games where we haven't played well, but you're not talking about the games where we have possibly played well. And
No,
the last game,
I get that. That game we fully dominated PSV. PSV were nowhere, had nothing going in that midfield. They had nothing. They weren't ever getting. The only time they ever got past us was when Lokonga vacated the space and they somehow got behind him. And
But what do you think Southampton's going to do with that Lavia? They're no different.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Gunnar Lee.
Yeah. I agree 100%. I think that that's going to be a position where, listen, with Partey, we know that he can produce monster class and absolutely fantastic kind of performances, especially against lesser opposition. We saw what he did in the second half against Thiago against Liverpool. So, and listen, man, there's no one from Liverpool, so from Southampton, that's worrying me. Even James Ward-Prowse, listen, apart from his free kicks, he's basic. He's basic. I'm cool, man. I'm chilled.
Enough said.
And Xhaka, let's hold. We haven't given no love to Xhaka, but listen.
Oh,
Xhaka.
shit, yeah. We got to give love to Xhaka. Listen, Xhaka in the midfield, majority of the games this season, they've been outstanding. Granted, Xhaka is a renaissance. He redemption arc. His redemption arc is ridiculous. But yeah, I think this guy this season, it's easy to say, oh, Granit Xhaka, I've always backed this Granit Xhaka, but I'm not going to lie. There was moments where I questioned him, but majority of the time when he was getting the most stick, me, Harry, I don't know Gunner Sulz if you were there, but like there was a couple of us that would defend him for even when he made mistakes, because I always seen that there was a player in there, and I always compared him to not James Milner, Henderson, where I said he could be the guy who turns around his reputation once the team starts getting better, and it's showing right now.
And if Zinchenko's back, that's another dominant player that we can put in the back line to kind of really put you. Oh yeah, look, even someone said he's in the back. If he's back,
a fan favorite, by the way.
Yeah, I love him, man.
Xhaka became a fan favorite. Did you guys see the reaction when he scored the goal in the Europa League? That right there shows this guy has caught the connection band with the fans.
But you know what it is? It also shows social media isn't what the fans actually say. Because I feel like too much emphasis gets put on social media fan base, and the fans who go to the stadium don't think the same as what half of the people on social media do.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Yeah, clearly you gotta go, bro. You have yourself a wonderful day. And
listen,
I'm just
we're
going
gonna
to
link up
talk to Sulz about Gabriel's contract.
Peace out, people, man. Peace out.
Take care, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, people in the chat, let us know if there's something that we haven't spoken about that you want us to mention quickly before we wrap up. But my friend, did you see Gabriel sign his contract?
Yeah, I'm happy. It's one of many to come, and this is the trickle effect that's now going to happen. And I feel like a lot of these are done. I don't think they're just happening now, and a lot of these were like pre-agreed. And I've always spoken about it. It's that media thing where they need to set up the media talks, the interviews, etc., and then they sort of start announcing them. And I feel like Saliba, Saka, Martinelli, or whoever else there is that's still in talks, it's going to happen very soon. It's just this project right now is too enticing for these players to now leave. And that's what I've always said. If we improve and we start showing that ambition, and I feel like January is going to be key to all of this as well. Because if the owners see us, okay, we're in this, because I truly don't believe we're going to lose a game until the World Cup. And that's going to pretty much lead up until January. And if in January we're in the same position we're in now, where we've got like a 4-point lead or whatever the lead may be, and the owners go, do you know what? Let's go get those 1 or 2 players to push it over the line. I don't see why these players would want to leave because there isn't anything better. I mean, okay, Man City, but that's it. Even if you look at the likes of Real Madrid, we don't know what direction they're going in. We don't know what direction Barcelona are going in, Bayern Munich are going in. So what's the next best thing to be at? And it's at Arsenal. And these guys have grown up here. And obviously with Magalhaes it's different, but I'm so glad we're tying these down earlier than we've needed to and extending their contract for 5 years. Number one, it protects their value. But number two, it means we're in control. And I always said, once this refresh happens and we've gotten those players out and we can keep the core, this is what we're going to start seeing, especially with Richard Garlick coming in, and he's a top contract negotiator. As much as, yes, he's made a few mistakes, but overall his work has been brilliant in terms of how he structures contracts with bonuses and add-ons rather than just huge weekly fees. So I'm really happy. Obviously, we don't know the ins and outs either, but I doubt they've been stupid with it. So I'm really happy to have tied down.
Yeah. Ibi Gunnerly just got off and said Tommy and rest Tierney, lads. Yeah, we made our combined 11, and I'm sorry, why did I say combined 11? We made our team, and we put Tierney on the bench, and we had Tomiyasu starting, and also Tierney played 90 minutes. Tomiyasu subbed off versus PSV, so that's a signal that he's most likely going to play. Ibi said he was late. That's why we're saying that. Xhaka's performances at the club, love to see it. Xhaka also has a contract extension last season, which we can trigger and keep him for a couple more years. So we're good. People saying who's starting in goal for them. They have a 30-something-year-old goalkeeper called Gavin Bazunu, whatever his name. Yeah. Bazunu. He's going to be starting in goal. So you know what? You guys have talked me into it. Okay, we're winning. We're winning 2. We're winning 2-0. Is that better? Because I think that's more.
You're getting there.
I think that's maybe more respectable. Because you guys talked me into this. Who's going to score for them? Shea Adams. That's the only guy who might be able to actually get in the back of the net. And if we give them a chance, I just think Shea Adams is going to be able to bury it better than Bamford. I don't rate Bamford anymore. Bamford's fully fallen off. Like, he's not the same guy. But yeah, and one more thing, Gabriel's contract's great, but we need Gabriel Magalhaes after his contract is signed. We need Saliba's after Saliba's. We need Saka's after Saka's. I want Martinelli to sign a new deal. We need all of them to get it done, and that is when we know we are actually moving the project forward. Because securing your key players and not losing them to these other teams, that's when we know we're taking the right steps, because we've been always talking about it. Once we get another chance to improve our team to a level where we can compete, we need to take it to the next level. We can't do what we used to do and sell them off. We can't afford to do that. And Arsene Wenger, by the way, Arsene Wenger, happy birthday. Arsene Wenger, 70-something birthday to Arsene Wenger. Also, today's Lokonga's birthday, also 20. They both have the exact same birthday. Yeah, Lokonga, he's gone for me. I'm selling him. What are you saying?
In January, I'd loan him and bring someone in. I just think, I feel like there's something there. I see something, and I just don't see him as a lone 6. And I've always said it, I don't think he's got the brains for it just yet. And I feel he needs to learn the Premier League a bit more. The thing is, with experienced DMs, it's fine because they've played football enough to understand the game at a bare minimum. Whereas when you've got like a young DM, it's very difficult for them to, number one, acclimatize to this level of being a lone DM. Play him as an 8, play him in that Xhaka role. And I thought that's what they would do, because I've seen him in that role and I thought, actually, he looks decent. He got a goal in pre-season as well. And he looked to be quite comfortable. And I was like, this is where he suits him. You know, especially with his passing, by the way, is phenomenal. Like, it is incredible, the passes he can pull off. But the problem is we don't see them consistently enough. And if you can give him a role where he doesn't have too many responsibilities, he could thrive. It's one of those ones where I feel like a loan could do him good. And I know a lot of people hate loaning players out, but I feel like with him, it's a need more than it's something we need. We need to do it more than we want to do it. So that's just my opinion. I don't think sell yet, maybe in a year or two.
I personally would get rid of him because I don't think he is. I get it that we might need the body, but if you're playing a Premier League game, would you rather play Elneny or Lokonga? Real talks.
Oh, you know my opinion. I'm an
Elneny, right? If you have a game and you want to give him game time in the 8 position, who are you going to play in the 8 position before him? Xhaka, Vieira, Odegaard, even maybe ESR and Zinchenko before you play him in that 8. Am I wrong?
In that role, I'd probably play him over them.
Okay, you play him over Smith Rowe or Zinchenko.
I feel like ESR hasn't done enough in that 8 role when he's been given an opportunity. I feel like him being more of an attacking sort of Odegaard replacement as a 10 is much better suited to him.
You know what my main thing about Lokonga is? He's not developing to a level that I can see adequate improvement. I get that he hasn't played enough games, but he's also not getting enough games because he's probably not improving behind the scenes. Like, I don't know what he's doing behind the scenes to improve, but it's going to get to a point where we have to move on from Lokonga and we have to start looking at the project, moving away from a project and now moving into win now mode. Once we get away from the project and we get into win now mode, that's when we can start saying, you know what, we need to achieve the Champions Leagues, we need to achieve the leagues. And at this moment in time, we're not ready to say that yet. So it's okay to have.
You know, one of the things I'm not reluctant to doing, AC Milan are looking into him. And
let him go.
No. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you what my plan would be. I would use him to get Rafael Leao in.
I don't think we would be able to afford Rafael Leao. It's not the money, actually.
No, but think about it. If you do it as a trade deal, it's a very affordable, attainable player to get.
Rafael Leao, you think we'd be able to get him? I don't think so.
We don't. Okay, what do we need? We need two, in my opinion, to move the needle for this team. We need 2 signings. We need an attacker who can actually play in all positions very effectively, and we need a DM. I don't really think there's anything else we need personally, and maybe a left centre back. So if you think about it, even if you go with the trend of £150 million is what we can spend, Rafael Leao is going to cost you what? Maybe 90 million even. Put Lokonga, give him a £20 million, right? That's 70 million, right? As a trade, and let's just say we can do that. Then you bring in a DM. Even the best DMs are going to cost you what? 70 million? That's 140 million, right? That if you go for those 2. Then we just need a left centre back. It can be a young one because you've still got Gabriel Magalhaes. You can go find a bargain, but you can also sell maybe 1 or 2 players that we've got, and there you go. You can do it, but I think there's 2 key positions, and I don't want to cheapen out anymore.
Okay. You know what? We're going to wrap it up there. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. Big up to everyone in the chat. People saying 2-0. Do me a favor, guys. Everyone who's watching right now, if after the video has gone live, if you can do me a favor, come back to it and leave a comment. It really does help me out a lot. And also shout out to Gonner Sulz. If you guys don't know where to find him, I'll show you guys where to find him right now. You go on Twitter, you just type in his name. His name is right there underneath his name, underneath him right there, Gonner Sulz. But yeah, big up to you guys. Big up to Gunnar Lee for joining us also. And you guys have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful night. I'm going to be watching the UFC, and we'll be back tomorrow for the match reaction, player ratings after the game, and vibes from the 6 tomorrow. What time do we play tomorrow? I forgot.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, yeah. So we played the 2 o'clock game. So I'll be doing the match reaction just before or maybe after the 4:30 games. But yeah, peace out, guys. Yeah, we gotta beat Southampton now. We gotta keep a clean sheet. I said it. I changed my mind. If it's a 2-1, I'll be laughing. Anyways, peace out, guys. Love.